Hello and welcome to the debut episode of Pixel Reacts, the Pixel parent show that brings you our thoughts, reactions and takes on the biggest gaming events, releases and moments out there. I'm your host Liam Kelvin, and of course I'm joined by Scott, the Tastemaker Curry. Say hello, Scott.
Hello, Scott. I love the fact that the Tastemaker follows us to this one as well. It's
We'll always follow
phenomenal.
you. And today we're here to talk about PlayStation's State of Play. So let's dive in, Scott. Let's get straight to it. What did you make of the show overall?
I am wholly underwhelmed.
Yeah.
We'll obviously work our way through it, but there's maybe one or two games on there which is all you can really ask for, but a couple of things in there that I'm interested in, but otherwise,
Yeah. I suppose I'm kind of with you on that myself. I went into this, I had a look back at other State of Plays,
yeah,
and overall, I'm starting to really say that these State of Play shows are, on the whole, pretty mid to underwhelming. There's always one or two things that save it, and by save I mean give it pass marks. But you know, there's again probably one or two things in there that I'm thinking, oh, it's all right. There's one in particular that I'm really excited about, but we'll get into that, I suppose, as well. But I suppose for those that had watched along or who hadn't watched, what we're going to do is just kind of go through each one of the announcements and let's just talk about them. What do we make of each one of them? So they kicked off the show, nearly a third of the show should have had
15 minutes.
Yeah, with Fireworks game Concord,
Yep.
which is their new 5v5 PvP first person shooter.
Yeah.
So what did you make of that one?
It's like every other 5v5 hero shooter out there.
Yeah.
It's at first glance, you know, you're watching that initial maybe 2-3 minute video where it was kind of vignettes about the story and stuff like that, and it's quite interesting. Characters are fun.
They look cool.
It's cool that way, and then you start to see, oh my god, someone's using a sniper rifle. Oh my god, they've all got different abilities and stuff like that. Like I think we spoke about this just before we started recording or watching the State of Play. I have no idea what Concord was. Even Googling it, still don't know what it is. But
this is the first time it's really been shown off.
This is the first time that I've seen it, and I'm no more enthused than I was, you know, prior to it. It kind of bothers me that 15 minutes were spent on this, and then not maybe 5 more announcements, and we get the exact same thing with a different skin on it. You know what I mean? Like, we obviously live in a world now though where Overwatch 2 has tanked, and we need replacements for that. And this is obviously PlayStation go at it. So fair play to them.
I think there's something else there that might be more successful, but you know, I think I was looking at it and they kicked things off with a character overview, which is very much just a glorified cutscene, effectively.
Yeah.
And I was actually thinking to myself, right, okay, they're going for the whole Guardians of the Galaxy type vibe. I appreciated the tone being quite humorous, actually. I was pulled in.
Yeah.
And then when they showed the gameplay and you're quickly realising, right, it's really inspired by Overwatch, kind of hero style shooter.
Yeah.
And I was just like, even though they've promised, now they did say that, you know, players, as you're kind of making your way through, you're going to be rewarded with these cinematic vignettes
and stuff,
showing you how your characters are getting on board the ship. But I'm kind of like, damn, I really, really wished that looking at this game in the world, I'm really intrigued by it.
Yeah.
I would have loved it if it was just a, you know, more single player focus, if I'm
campaign,
honest.
like
you
a
know,
group campaign. Yeah, exactly. Even if it was
same
like
problem with Overwatch, actually.
Even if it was a PvE or something like that, you know, 5v5, but it's like AI or something like that, or
you
play with kind of computer teammates or whatever, and then you build a story around that. But
well,
the minute it panned out and showed us that it was a 5v5 shooter, I was just like completely lost interest.
I felt that deflation kind of kick in. I mean, if I look at the description here from the PlayStation blog, so you're going to play as a member of the crew of the North Star, which is a group of guns for hire in this galaxy, which are known as free gunners. So basically, you're going to be taking high stakes jobs on worlds across space, and I'm like, that sounds like something that'd be cool in a single player thing. But then it shows you the gameplay, and it's like, oh, it's just window dressing. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to note as well. I mean, it's going to launch in August this year, with the beta arriving in July. It's coming to PlayStation and PS5 now.
PlayStation, PC, and PS5.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, it's late, guys. It's late. That's going to happen a lot here. As Scott knows, once it gets past like 11 o'clock, I lose the
done.
ability
He's
to
done.
talk. But yes, rightly so. It's happened there. But I think they're going to be looking at this and thinking, is there potential for it to be like a Helldivers type success? And I've made a note here whilst I was watching it. See if this is a 70 quid release, that is going to die in its arse.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that right now.
Oh, 100%.
Nothing against the game, nothing against the work. I don't want any game to fail. But I'm looking at that and thinking there's just no real point of difference. The world in that looks cool. I'm intrigued by it.
Yeah.
But there's not going to be enough. I can tell you that right now.
The beta coincides with the release of the other 5v5 shooter later in the year as well.
Which we'll
get to, but it seems...
Which I'm more excited about.
Exactly. Like, I think they're maybe banking on people losing interest on that early and hoping that it'll do on that. And if they take the Xbox approach and give it to us on PlayStation Plus or something, maybe there'll be a fan base out there for it. And it might be something that people will kind of work their way into, but I don't see it sticking around. These 5v5 shooters they're everywhere now. You know what I mean? Not even just 5. It doesn't have to be 5v5, but these hero shooters is just... I can't. For me, I'm not interested in it anymore. We had our time with Overwatch, and that was like the first step. Whereas now it's just everyone trying to replicate that same.
They've announced like pre-order bonuses for it, so I don't think it's going to be free to play. So that's a bit of a red flag for me.
Yeah,
and I think this is just more evidence of the former PlayStation leadership, where they've doubled down on all these multiplayer, kind of games of service style shooters.
Yeah,
and don't get me wrong, it's a gap.
Yeah,
in the PlayStation portfolio, but I'm worried for that one. It looks cool. I'd give it a go.
Yeah, it's a fantastic concept, but it is, you give it a go and then turn it off after a couple of rounds. It's foam stars. Do you know what I mean? Sent out to die.
Yeah,
just horrible to say, but I hope it does well. I mean, obviously, hope everything does well, but I just don't see it.
See if it came in at the same kind of price as Helldivers.
Yeah,
a bit cheaper. I think this has got every chance of success. I mean, there's 16 characters in total in this game as well, I should add.
Yeah.
If they follow that price model, it has a chance because of the PC audience as well.
Yeah.
But see if this is a full price release. I'm just not sure, man. But
no chance.
Yeah, I was I'm intrigued by Concord. I would like to give it a go. I'm going to check out the beta in July and just we'll share our thoughts then. But moving on, they then announced what we're all expecting. I should say as well, there was a leak ahead of the show and it was pretty much bang on.
Yep.
But God of War Ragnarok coming to PC. What did you make of that announcement?
Move on.
I just wrote May.
Aye,
that was it.
State of PC.
Coming September 19th.
It's good to see them doing it. It's good to see them doing this with other games and stuff as well. And Ragnarok is ready to go. Would you say September 19th or something like that?
Yep, September 19th, yep.
The features that it brings, like the unlocked frame rates and the super ultra wide, and the minute that happened and the kind of camera panned out and it shows you the ultra wide view of it, I was just like, oh baby.
Yeah, that did look pretty cool.
Never see that because I don't own a PC, but
no.
PC players deserve to play it.
It's a fantastic game, yeah. Yep. If you've not played it, then please do it.
Obviously comes with a DLC as well, so
which had no right being as good as it was. Absolutely fantastic Valhalla DLC.
Glorious.
Well, I think enough said on that.
I think just to touch on something you mentioned just before you were talking about that with it, the fact that it all leaked.
Yeah.
I think that hasn't ruined things for me. I think that see if I had come out of this without the leaks, I would be in a completely different frame of mind right now.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen what they closed on.
Yeah.
Without kind of it seeing.
I think I would. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but anyhow. The next thing they announced here was Dynasty Warriors Origins, which is revealed for PS5 and it's coming in 2025.
Indeed.
So the 1 versus 1000 action is back, Scott. So what was your thoughts on that? I'm not a Dynasty Warriors player.
Nah.
So don't get me wrong, the footage that I saw, it looked pretty fun. It was very much like this is a total power fantasy.
Yeah.
You know.
I think that's what the games are.
Yeah.
It looked like a ton of fun. I'm the same as you. I've not played it. I've not played a Dynasty Warrior game since I was maybe like 10 or 12. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'd be keen to come back to it. It's one that if it ever shows up on PlayStation Plus, I'll maybe jump in.
So the game's promising to have the largest armies ever seen in the series,
Ooh.
which is pretty cool. You know, taking advantage of that PS5 power, I suppose. But there was not really much to go on. It was very much kind of setting the scene.
Yeah.
They're promising to take advantage of the hardware and stuff here. But you know, 2025 is not going to be the last time we see it, I'd imagine, at one of these things. But you know, a lot for the fans of the series to get excited about.
Oh, definitely. Sure. I mean, if you're a fan of Dynasty Warriors, then you'll obviously be interested in the largest armies that anyone has ever seen and everything around that. So
yeah,
there's obviously interest there, but not the right people to be aiming it towards.
Well, speaking of that, kind of battering through that, but I think you'll probably find there'll be ones that we're going to linger on here and ones that we're not. Infinity Nikki, which is an open world dress up adventure. Yes, an open world dress up adventure coming to PS5. And what I will say, right, the music in this
my God.
was fantastic.
Almost sold both of us on buying this game. Honestly, it was incredible.
It was like Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
It was absolutely unreal. The music was just an absolute delight. So yeah, I would actually consider just playing it just for that.
You just, if you've not watched the State of Play, go and find that trailer, because
Infinity Nikki.
Don't even watch the trailer, just go and listen to the music in it, because it sounds like Super Mario Galaxy the whole time you're listening to it. It's brilliant, man. Yeah. So good.
So it's the next in that Nikki series. So I believe it's the 5th installment.
Oh yeah, you'll know. It is. You'll know.
I know it well. But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, visually it actually looked great visually.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like a type of game I would play, to be honest, but
it did come across quite, it's very anime, and it is not your cup of tea.
Not my bag.
But it's definitely something that there will be fans out there of it. And some of the things that you were doing in it, like kind of floating about on the wee plants and stuff like that, and taking pictures of every single character on the screen was pretty interesting.
Well, we've got some more information here for it. So Infinity Nikki opens up on a new chapter. Nikki and her friend Momo arrive in Miraland. That's from an alternate timeline. So a great world lies before them, bringing infinite possibilities and more challenges. However, Nikki's resolve remains unwavering as always. So, yeah, fans of the Nikki series will be salivating at that, I'm sure. But I will say, it wasn't the worst thing that I seen in that show, to be honest with you. It's not like the worst game that I saw. It's, I'm not going to play it, but it gave me like Pokemon Snap vibes, to be honest with you.
That's one of the only notes I wrote down for it. Funky music, Pokemon Snap.
I can't get away from the music. It was
incredible.
Just joy. Incredible. Absolute joy. So yeah, that was that, and that was from Infold, of course. Who I think are publishing that. Then it moved on with another game from them. I think it's been developed by Tipsworks. Yes. And that was Ballad of Antara, which is coming in 2025. Now, this is one that I thought you'd definitely have some notes on.
You'd think. I wrote very intense voiceovers. This is coming from the mind of Scott here, because I genuinely just wrote very intense voiceovers. It obviously has Souls vibes.
Yeah.
Seems like you're coming at it from different characters' point of views, and they all sort of merge together and have sort of like a branching paths kind of thing. But don't know anything more about it. But it looks interesting from what I've seen. Kind of enemies and boss kind of fights and stuff like that do look pretty interesting.
Well, got some interesting information on it here from the PlayStation blog, which is always essential after these things. So it's an action RPG.
Okay.
So the Souls like was absolutely bang on. I think it's a new IP, and it's going to be free to play.
Oh,
which is interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah. So the promising here just to create a big vast world. They're trying to make it as huge and geological and cultural, but what they're writing here as well. And it's aiming to experience an adventure of two intertwined fates through exotic landscapes. So, yeah, I mean, it looked pretty cool. I mean,
what kind of games did Infold make? Because it, both of those games kind of come, make me sort of think about like Genshin Impact and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I'm not too familiar. I have to say, off the top of my head. But what I will say is that it's offering some multiplayer support on it as well for up to 3 players. So it sounds like something we could actually jump into together. I'd actually be interested in checking this one out, to be honest.
Yeah, it would be if it's free to play, then you're not losing on anything.
Exactly. They're promising, well, they're hoping that the world stays with you and grows with you for years to come. So I'm imagining it'll be, filled with cool skins and that to buy, lots of cool microtransactions, but that's coming in 2025. Something to look forward to. I mean, this was probably one that I was definitely more intrigued by. Looking at it, I thought the art style just was screaming From Software. Some of the what looked like boss battles in it, I was like, that could be in a From Software game.
Even just thinking about it though, it made me think a lot of the kind of Lies of P and stuff like that.
Yeah,
As you say, kind of From Soft inspired, but kind of carries its own identity and stuff as well. I think that we're all guilty of saying, it's obviously inspired by From Soft, but there's a lot in it that inspired by other things as well. And I think it came off, it looks very interesting, and now that I know it's free to play, there's nothing to lose.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to pick it up.
So as promised, ahead of the state of play, this is the point in the show where they got into their first PSVR 2 review. And this was Skydance's Behemoth, first gameplay review for that, from the makers of Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners. So I was looking at this and I was like that. Scott knows exactly what I'm thinking here, but it's just like, I would totally play this if I had a PSVR 2. It looked really great, to be honest with you. Like, there was a part in it where you catch an arrow. Someone shot one at you, you catch it and he shoots it right back at him. There's another one that punches a guy's head off.
Yeah.
This whole medieval vibe, and I'm just like, yes.
Yeah.
Like, it's the first PSVR 2 game that I've seen them at. I would actually play that.
Yeah. I thought it did look interesting. Some of because a lot of the kind of a lot of the sort of gameplay focus on like the rope play and stuff like that as well. So you're having to pull down bridges using ropes, and you're kind of Mortal Kombat Scorpion and folk to you, so you grab them and pull them towards you and stuff as well. It kind of reminded me of remember those videos all over TikTok and stuff like that of like the guy playing VR games, but it's like Shaggy, and he's like killing Spider-Man and stuff like that. It just reminds me of that. Just stupid ways that you can do stuff. Granted, it looked fantastic, for a VR game, and having that level of creativity is quite fun, but it's not for me.
Yeah, I mean, but we don't have the hardware for a start. But
true.
I think, in fair play, it's not easy to show a VR game, especially in these type of showcases, and it's not hard to. It's not easy to show any game in these showcases, but it left an impression, and that's coming fall this year, 2024.
I think you're right though, that it's hard with VR, because the minute you see it's VR, you're like, oh right, okay, just switch off. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like,
well, we're not invested. So.
It's like watching like WrestleMania and a wrestler you don't like comes on. It's like that's the toilet break match. Do you know what I mean? But the same, as you say, I remember everything about that trailer, so it's obviously done something right.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the stronger reviews, I thought, from the show, and actually moving on to the next review, which is also a PSVR 2 game that was coming this year, holiday 2024, which is first look at Alien Rogue Incursion. Cards on the table. I am never playing that game because I am a massive coward. But it's like, if you want a PlayStation VR, like Alien Isolation type experience, it looked fucking terrifying. But I'm like, it looks great.
It looks class.
Absolutely class.
You've always got that wee bit of jank in it though. Like some of the animations and stuff. You're obviously limited in terms of the way that you develop for VR, but you couldn't ask for anything more with it. It's very atmospheric. It obviously kind of takes a lot of the inspiration from Alien Isolation and stuff as well. So 100%. I think that if you've got the VR 2, it's a must buy. Do you know what I mean? Like any game coming out for it's a must buy, to be honest with you. But
100%. And to be honest with you, like, there's been previous state of plays and exactly what you had said. Switch off. Toilet break, whatever. Check your phone. But I was invested for both of them. I actually thought they were very strong titles to showcase. It's promising here it's an original single player story set
Cool.
in that alien universe, which is really exciting for fans of that as well. It's going to be developed in Unreal Engine 5,
Cool.
which is very interesting as well. Interesting. So it's happening, guys. I'm
Such
just
words.
losing the ability to speak here. But yeah, I really do think that I was impressed. I've walked away like that. Do you know what? For the first time since launch, I'm like, there's actually some fruit starting to bear there,
Yeah.
which is only a great thing. I mean, it's Alien. It's a massive IP
Yeah.
for that as well.
Yeah.
And if they manage, I'm not sure if it's exclusive. I mean, if it is, that's just a great feather in the cap for the platform as well. And you know, PSVR 2, and these old love we can get.
It
Just
does.
now.
It
really
definitely,
does, you know.
does. It's I think, as you say, it sort of it bodes well if that's what's coming out now. You know, what do they have to show in 6 months' time or something like that as well? What are the games that may be coming out next year? So
Yeah,
hold on to your VR headsets.
yeah, and also Scott, I want you to hold on to your butts,
Oh,
because right, the next announcement is one of my big ones here, which
Yep.
I've been hoping was coming to the console since it's been announced, and I would have loved for this not to be spoiled. But it's Marvel Rivals.
yes.
It is coming to PlayStation 5, and your man here is absolutely buzzing because it is basically Overwatch and a Marvel skin. We've got the reviews for Adam Warlock and Venom on this as well. Also made notes here. We've seen Hela, we've seen Punisher, Magneto, Star-Lord, Spider-Man, Storm. There's going to be exclusive Scarlet Spider skin. The beta is announced in July. Of this year.
Yep.
And it's a free-to-play game as
Mhm.
well, I should add, which takes us back to our original point with Concord. You're sitting there, one in each hand,
Yep.
ketchup and catsup. You know what one you're going to be taking. So, yeah, a Simpsons reference wherever I can. But, you know, it's a 6v6 Overwatch-esque game.
Mm-hmm.
It's got Marvel characters out the IOTA. What more could I ask
What more
for?
could you ask for?
You know what I mean? It looks fantastic.
You know, it is ripe for, you know, lasting forever.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those games that could go on for eternity.
Yep.
Because you've got so many variations of characters. You've got so many characters alone. Then you've got so many different variations of characters. You've got skins of characters. You've got, you know, worlds that you can build on, different sets and stuff in the Marvel universe.
I'm so happy.
I'm only going to play it.
I need you to play it with me.
No, I know. I was trying to come up with a really stupid character that I could pick, but I can't think Marvel. But I will play it when I can play as... I don't know.
It's gone blank.
Tired now.
You can play as Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck. Now
Yeah.
that seems that's like low hanging fruit. Come back to me on it. I'll think of a character before the end of this podcast.
Atu the Watcher. I think no, I'm so happy with this one, man. Like I was really gutted when I saw like the Marvel Rivals announcement that was just coming to PC. Obviously, I'm not a PC player.
Mm-hmm.
Even more gutted when all the controversy came out with the contracts that they had with influencers that they couldn't say anything negative about the game, which is disappointing. Bit of a red flag. I've since went back and watched some creators. Funnily enough, it's a lot of Marvel Snap creators that have kind of got invited into that one that have given their honest feedback. And yeah, just that was a big tick for me on this one.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't wait till July. And Spider-Man looks like he's going to be a fucking nightmare to
I know.
play.
I just want to. I finally come up with a character that I want.
Right.
Green Goblin.
Yes.
I want Willem. I want Willem Dafoe. Green Goblin.
Imagine gameplay though, flying about in the glider.
Aye.
Pumpkin bombs. You
Weird
name
pumpkin bombs.
That'd be right for this type of shooter.
Exactly. Nobody says no to me.
There's endless possibilities with it, man. I really wish it all the best, and I look forward to jumping on board.
Back to formula.
So yeah, that was Marvel Rivals.
Yeah,
then
exciting.
we moved on to a game called Where Minds Meet.
I thought it was Where Winds Meet.
Winds? Oh, it probably was actually.
I don't know. Maybe Minds, maybe Wins.
Oh, it's Winds. You're right. So,
Everstone or something like that's making it.
It says here it's bringing superhuman open world martial arts adventure.
It looks fantastic.
Oh, it really does.
Looks
really does.
so bloody cool. And
Wuxia inspired RPG. Very Crouching Tiger vibes.
It looks class. Every single fight in it made me think, holy sweet guacamole, I am keen to play that right now. Just the way the character moves and stuff was making me think of Sekiro. You know, kind of different fights and stuff like that in it as well. I was like, I'm into that, man.
Well, we've got some details here from the blog that's going to entice you and hype you even more, right?
Baby.
So, this has been in development for 5 years.
Cool.
It is an epic wuxia open world action adventure RPG game.
Lovely.
So it says here wuxia being that genre of fiction and cinema featuring warriors from ancient China, often using superhuman powers. Now I know like Kung Fu Panda was very inspired by this as well. I'm not joking. And they did a very good job of it.
No, I'm just laughing.
But it's like
Kung Fu Panda.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, they've name checked it here,
Yeah.
or House of the Flying Daggers.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's like trying to master all the Chinese martial arts, traversing a giant landscape, solving puzzles. It is set in a period of Chinese history known as the Five Dynasties and 10 Kingdoms.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jesus, just give me this.
Aye,
just give
that's
me
cool,
this
man.
now.
That is cool.
And the fact that it's a seamless open world, oh man.
The fear that I have with it though, it might end up like one of those. What's the game that we've seen that looks exactly like this? That has been in development for about 9 million years, and we've seen it pretty much every single summer games fest or something.
Yeah, Wukong.
Wukong.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me feel that we're literally never going to play it. It's just going to be in development forever.
Well, they said, they haven't given a date actually.
No.
It's just going to be coming to PlayStation 5. But the fact that they're just doing such an emphasis on Chinese martial arts,
Yeah.
Kung Fu, as I've said here in the blog, oh man, like, yeah, I thought the game looked absolutely fantastic. It
Mhm.
really was a big tick
Yeah.
as well. And you know, as we're going through it, I'm like, well, there was actually probably more in here that was to be excited about, but I think it's disappointing that this has been shown probably a bit too early.
Yeah.
But they need to show something. That's the only thing I would say.
That's
as a criticism.
It talking about kind of games to play in 2024, and you know we're getting them here and there, but no, I don't know. I made a point and I had no idea where I was taking it from. I was actually just reading the name of the next game that's coming up as well, and I got distracted.
That's the thing. With every high, there is a low.
Oh.
And the next game that was revealed here tonight was one that we've seen before, and that was the Until Dawn remake from Ballistic Moon.
Mm-hmm. Fall 2024 for PC and PS5.
I have wrote a note here that just says I don't see why we're remaking this, to be honest.
Well,
that's what I've wrote down.
I will take that, and I will also raise you
right
weird face Rami Malek. Like okay. That's all I wrote, weird face, because there's always something like when I've played that game in the past, his face is just a wee bit off. Like it's not. It kind of speaks like he's got like chewing gum stuck in his mouth.
Yeah, well, he has a very unique style, you know.
Yeah.
You know, he's definitely carved out that space for the kind of what's the word, intriguing villain type. I thought this looked rough.
Yeah,
I thought it looked really, really rough. I was like, this doesn't look any better than when we first played it. I think, if I'm being honest, I think it's like a complete waste of resource. I really do. I think this is just a
tell us how you really feel.
Bad move, Sony. You know, it could come out and it could do gangbusters and it could then be big on Twitch and all that. But you know what? That could happen today.
Yeah.
And the game is good. Like Until Dawn is a fantastic game, and it's one that's great to play in company.
Mm-hmm.
If you're into horror and that type of stuff, and if you're new to it, I think they're just trying to tap into the new PS5 install base with this.
Yeah. But
this remake didn't. We don't need this.
Mm-hmm.
This remake didn't need to happen. You know, this is my heel turn. You
is
know,
this? Because I was just looking at the details about Ballistic Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Is this their first game?
Do tell.
So I'm just looking on their website, and it's obviously talking about like games. So you click on the games option, and the only game on there is Until Dawn.
What must be then?
So it must be. It's just like, it just screams like a Matt McMuscles episode of What Happened. Do you know what I mean? Like I can see it coming now a mile away. You just deer in the headlights kind of thing, that sent out to die. early. But
I believe it is. I think it is their first. They're based in Farnborough, UK. I think.
do you know what? Like,
I think PlayStation must have acquired them.
yeah, it just seems completely unnecessary. And if this is the first game that we're looking at that's going to be remastered to be brought out for PC and PS5 by this team, if that's what they've been acquired for, doesn't really bode well.
No, especially I always worry for any studios that's based in the UK.
Yeah.
With when you get these big companies like Sony and PlayStation getting involved, because they seem allergic to talent at this side of the world, to be honest.
Allergic to talent.
I don't know. It just feels like, like you see what happens with like the London studios and that, and there's so much talent there, and they sadly had to like close the studio. But I mean, there's no disrespect to Ballistic Man. They are not the source of the decision here. It's also come down to Sony. They felt there was a need to remake that goes way over my head. But yeah, I was watching this and I was like, this is a total waste of people's time, money, effort.
Didn't look at it. I saw it was there, and I've played Until Dawn, so
I just didn't think it looked.
Never play again.
There's nothing there that was like, wow, they've really upskilled this. It looked rough as a badger's ass. It really did. You know what I mean? And that's not the first time I've wrote this on. There's a couple other ones that comes up, and I thought the same thing. But anyway, moving on to the next one, and I'll calm down. So we had Path of Exile 2.
Yep.
Got shown off here as well. Very, very Diablo. Coming early access late 2024.
Indeed.
What was your thoughts on that, Scott?
I wrote Diablo A with a question mark.
Uh-huh.
I've played Diablo, never played Path of Exile, so I thought some of the animations on it look pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it looked pretty tight.
Combat things look pretty cool as well. Yeah. So I'd be interested to go back, having seen this now, to go and have a look at Path of Exile.
The original, yeah.
The original one, just to see kind of how that fares. But
well, this is going to be free to play.
Is it?
Yeah, Couch Co-op was a new feature for it as well. I haven't played.
Cross progression, it said as well on it. So
that's right, which is always great to see, to be honest with you. Is that just PS5?
If it's going to be cross progression, then it can't just be PS5 though, can it?
True, you've answered my question. So
can it?
there's lots and lots of information here in the blog on it.
I mean,
it's going to be jam packed full of content.
Aye.
They said that it is. They've went out of the way here to state it. It's a separate game from the original. They're going to be offering expansions on both of them going forward. So 1 and 2.
Right. Okay.
And they've stressed that it's completely free to play and never be pay to win. And the purchases that you make are shared between the two games, which is actually pretty cool.
That is pretty cool, aye.
That is pretty cool. I'll give them that for sure. They've got over 100 end-game maps. It has its own boss encounter as well. So yeah, I mean, this is actually, I thought it looked pretty cool. Something I meant, now that I've learned that it's free to play as well, like, I think I'll dive in.
If that's the future for it, then yeah, 100%.
Especially if you can play it in co-op, man.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's the. I think that I fell out of love with the gameplay loop of Diablo, that you were just going in doing the same thing over and over again to 100 million different enemies. I mean, it's Dynasty Warriors, but like top down, and weird death things. But this looked, a bit more tight, as you say, and I'd be interested to try it out, especially if we can kind of fanny about on it together. Then that'd be pretty cool.
Definitely. What a choice of words. So then we moved on to what I'm going to say must be your highlight of the show, which is Silent Hill 2.
Silent Hill 2.
Coming October 8th.
October 8th, 10 days before Jon's birthday. I don't hate it. I think that when you look at any time any gameplay and stuff shown for it, or any footage is shown about Silent Hill 2, the internet explodes because people either like it, or you've got the other side of the internet who completely hate it.
Yeah.
People who don't like the way that James looks. People who think that it's completely tearing apart the legacy of the old game.
Yep.
It doesn't look the way it should. Kind of, they're not getting it and stuff like that. I don't see it myself. I really don't. I mean, I think there's always going to be that. There's always going to be that element where it doesn't really carry on what Silent Hill 2 kind of brings. it's the same way that when they remastered the Metal Gear Solid games, like everyone's always going to be raging about that because people don't want these games remade.
Yeah, you're always going to get purists within
and that's
a fandom.
it's fair dues, but I don't hate it. I thought it looked pretty cool. I don't like James's weird face, but actually seeing him have a face is an improvement. But I thought it looked like I'd be interested kind of after this because I'm going to go and check out the transmission as well.
Yeah.
Kind of after we're finished, but I'm going to pick it up day one, obviously. Like Silent Hill 2 is an absolute classic, and I'm not really keen on spending the money to play it on PS2.
Yeah, of course.
Paying for a copy of it more than what you would pay for this copy. But I think Bloober Team are doing a good job with it. I think that we're all very critical about how it looked at first, and they've made changes to it.
Well, yeah, it looks like it's came on. I'll be honest, I still think it looked rough.
Yeah.
Especially if you compare it to the Resi remakes, which is an unfair comparison, but
it's a completely different.
It didn't look as polished, but there's still months ahead, so I'm not going to judge it based on that showing.
I think the issue with it is that they obviously want to try and retain the legacy that Silent Hill 2 already has. Now, they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place because with the Resident Evil remakes, Capcom basically just came out and just remade everything for Resi 2 and Resi 3. But whereas this is, they're trying to keep some of the same kind of movements and stuff like that with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I totally agree with you. I mean, it's not, it doesn't look,
It's a difficult one to pull off this, but at the same time, I mean, it's exciting that's coming so soon.
Done, no, 100%. And
I thought this was going to be a remake that would never see for donkeys, even when it was announced.
Yeah.
So I was actually surprised, but it's a pleasant surprise.
Aye.
Spoiler warning, I'm not going to be playing it because I'm an absolute coward. It still looks bloody terrifying for me. But yeah, I was like that. Scott's going to be very happy seeing this.
I mean, I'm all right with it. Silent Hill was never my favourite game franchise, so, it's never been one that I've loved, but I'm interested in seeing how they go with it and what happens afterwards, because Silent Hill 3 is due for some love.
Yeah.
I want to climb down that hole. Let me in that hole, man.
So the penultimate reveal on this today was actually something that was announced last December, and that was Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yep.
I'm not a player. I'm not a Monster Hunter player. I've tried in the past. I think I've tried Monster Hunter World.
Yeah.
Didn't grab me. There were certainly monsters in that. So Scott, I'm going to be leaning on you. What your thoughts were on that?
I don't know. I really don't know. I didn't feel like it. I didn't feel like it was a good trailer for it.
Well, I remember. I should add, right. So I was watching the trailer, and it was kind of like gameplay reveal type thing, or gameplay snippets. And I thought, and I wrote down, looks rough.
Yeah,
like it does look really rough, and there was a lot of transitions between like light environments, dark environments, and the textures were changing all the time. So I was like, there wasn't a consistency. However, saving grace coming 2025, so this is really early. Well, it's pretty early stuff that they're showing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I can really judge upon. I'm looking at it. It's like, yep. And we said during that, it's like these type of games, particularly Monster Hunter games, I feel are really hard to show off.
Yeah, it's a lot of the joy that you have in playing those games is when you have a team together and you go and you just have fun in that world. Like I just thought the world. Obviously, we're talking about a game that's a year away at least.
Yeah,
but it looked completely barren. Like barren of any life whatsoever.
Yeah.
And like, because you go and play Monster Hunter World and it's just this lush forests or snowfields and stuff like that, and it's just full of life. Whereas this just kind of felt, like I didn't really feel anything about it. Looking at the game, I mean, I don't know if it's just a trailer and stuff like that, but it kind of felt like the environments change as you play it.
It does.
Like
it does. They've confirmed that.
You were seeing that some monsters were there, and then later down the line, after you've maybe hunted them down, it changes. You fight different monsters and stuff at the same time.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you've got like a lot of sort of environmental stuff as well, with like sandstorms and sort of lightning and things at the same time. So I thought that looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
And these are things in Monster Hunter games that personally I've never seen. I've never been one that's played them more than like an hour or so.
Yeah,
but I just thought that looked pretty interesting. But it looked pretty cool, but nah. I'll maybe pick it up down the line because you know what I'm like for Capcom games. You know, I'll
Oh yeah,
support them, but
I mean that's the
um,
thing with Capcom. I know the next time we see this
oh
game, it's
yeah,
going to be so much more polished.
yeah,
And it's
it,
going to be probably ticking all those boxes that you're
yeah.
probably
I think
opening up just now.
one of the issues that I had with it, looking at some of the animations, is that they looked very, very Dragon's Dogma. Like it was very like that.
Yeah, which
So
is not the belle of the ball,
no,
Dragon's Dogma.
but do you know what?
Doesn't
Like
have to be.
it doesn't have to be, and I'd be interested to see what they can do with it because this is obviously big. I think the last one came out on Switch,
Mm-hmm.
and then World before that, and Iceborne before that. So
We've got a lot of Monster Hunter
we've got
over the past
like
few years.
last few years,
A
aye,
lot
but
of it. They're eating good. The
yeah,
fans.
yeah, and this is like the Capcom of new. You know, we went through a period where Capcom were really, really, really struggling.
Yeah, they've turned it around, man.
And they've turned it around massively. So hopefully this isn't the sign of the times, and yeah, hopefully the next time we see it, it does show something else because usually you get like these big. You watch these trailers and you see these massive monsters that really show off what the kind of engine can do and what the game can do,
Mhm.
and this, the only thing I can remember is the weird licky monster. That massive tongue was licking the
Yeah.
floor. It was like pure gimmick fights and stuff. So, I didn't feel any way about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I suppose that's only fair for a game that's still
Yeah,
about a year or more
Yeah.
away. But that being said, that leads us to they saved the best to last for
Yeah.
myself personally.
hmm
Team Asobi are back with Astrobot. That's it. My God, I was so happy.
yeah, it was good.
So happy. Following on from the success they had with Astro's Playroom, which was just such a brilliant, joyful surprise when you got your PlayStation 5. And yeah, it was, yeah, absolutely everything I needed it to do. And the fact that they're making this its own, kind of, they've called it here a supersized space adventure. It's its own fully fledged game. This could be PlayStation's like next mascot, their Mario,
Yeah.
effectively.
Yeah,
I think it has that potential, and I've loved the fact that they're still following that theme of just really embracing everything PlayStation
they
within
should
it.
do that. Yeah, absolutely. Take advantage of that. Such
Yeah.
a rich tapestry of of PlayStation kind of things that they can throw in there. So there's
Yeah.
loads of wee throwbacks. I think we saw Nathan Drake. We saw wee guy for Journey. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
loads of different characters. So it's very interesting.
It's just
And
like,
the innovations that they can do, because that the controller, the dual
DualSense.
sense is a phenomenal controller, and it can do so much. So I'd be interested to see the way that they can innovate, because they've obviously done it with Astro's Playroom,
Mhm.
and I'd love to see the way that they can take it into new heights. This.
I mean, it's still the best use of the DualSense
Yeah.
that I've seen, and yeah, it's so exciting to see. I thought everything that they showed here was just getting me so happy.
Mhm.
Like, not even excited, I was so happy, and obviously I've walked to be feeling really hyped. And it's a game that I've been wanting for ages. Obviously, Team Asobi, they know what they're doing. They're leaning on the back of that PlayStation legacy.
Yeah.
The shot of all the PlayStation consoles in this big, massive space legion as
Yeah.
they'll turn into like big, massive like space ships, and it reminded me of like a shot from Star Wars actually. And yeah, I was just like so in, and then as well you're going to get more music
Yes, because the song in that trailer
Oh.
was phenomenal as well.
from Kenny Young. It did it in the last one, and yeah, it's just massive, massive tick in the box. And also there was teases to Nathan Drake,
Yep.
Parappa, Journey, Kratos. They have said in the blog that they're not just going to be cameos; they're going to play a
Good.
bigger role, which is
That'd
good
be cool.
to kind of help Astro save the day. A few more details to show in it, which is really pleasing to see as well. Of course, they're leaning more into the DualSense. So that's going to be a big thing. So you'll be very pleased to hear that.
Happy to hear that.
You're going to be exploring 6 galaxies,
Mm-hmm.
over 80 levels,
That's cool.
which is fantastic. And the whole point is you're searching for Astro's scattered crew, as I
Mhm.
said here. So what they're showing in the trailer was the DualSense was effectively a little speeder.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a little jetpack type thing. I know I'm holding it.
Holding it,
in
not
front
even
of me.
not even on the controller. It's literally
So excited.
cradling the air.
So that is a mechanic to help you kind of navigate this world. They've
cool.
confirmed, which is really, really cool. There's going to be over 50 new abilities.
Lovely.
And there's going to be more than 70 new types of enemies. And at the end of each galaxy, they're promising a big boss battle.
Ooh.
So, yeah. More, please. Cannot wait. And
more,
they
please.
The release date, September 6th.
September the 6th.
Don't have long to wait in that one.
And bringing it full circle to the reason why we do this podcast, it is the perfect game that you could play with your child.
Absolutely.
There you go. See, it all comes full circle.
Slam dunk. Yeah, slam dunk. No,
even when I'm tired.
No, I mean, that was it. And that wrapped up State of Play. I mean, I walked away, I was expecting more.
Yeah.
Like, if you take this back, right, this is like back to when E3 was a thing and they showed that, I mean, it would be absolutely slaughtered for it. Astrobot.
I still feel that way about it now. To be honest with you, I feel nothing. I mean, Silent Hill 2, Marvel Rivals, I'm interested in. I never played Astro's Playroom, which is heathen.
Dude, you need to do that now for the next podcast.
I'll do it. But
fantastic.
I think there's a lot in there that it's games that are coming out on PC and stuff like that, and they obviously have to kind of fart them out. But the games that they're promising for 2024, I'm not, I still see myself in a position where I'm playing games from like 2022. Do you know what I mean? Like, or before that. But I'd be keen to jump into a few of them because we've started talking about free to play, and I hope that continues because
that's great. That's great news.
That's fantastic.
Always worth checking the blog for more details. But I think Astro's Playroom, Astrobot, had saved the day.
Yeah.
And I think it's given me something to be excited about to play on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
That's the mantra I'm taking into the Xbox Game Showcase as well. But yeah, that wraps everything up. So I mean, that's all from Pixel Reacts and State of Play. What did you make of the show? Were you happy with the announcements and the reveals? Just let us know on Twitter at pixel_parents or write to us at pixelparentspodcast@gmail.com. And if you like what you hear here, leave a 5-star review. And for more, you can listen to the Pixel Parents podcast every week on your podcast platform of choice, where we discuss the world of gaming from the perspective of parents. So until next time, stay safe, stay sane, and thanks for listening.
Good night, everyone.